Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
1980 was the year of my conception. From the dorm room founded DJ Connection. Entrepreneur of the Year in 07. On my path to the top, I learned a lot of lessons. Kicked out of college writing a parody rap. Dissed ORU like a trumpet rosy recap. I've been known for getting stuff done, not giving a crap. And for jocking up wins while my competition nap. Now it is the Thrivetime show on your radio. Catch the broadcast or the podcast download. If you got a business, we'll help it grow. God's got a plan you just didn't yet know about. Workflows, systems, scripts, and hiring. Motivating yourself when you need inspiring. These faces made for radio and not TV. Talking everything from Clay to Z. Auto washes, banks, haircuts, and glasses. You want to sell it, we've already sold it to the masses. No classes or prerequisites. Just business school as raw as it gets.
It's a Thrivetime show on the radio.
Oh, Dr. Z, I'm not sure if you're aware, but it is the Thrivetime show on your radio. My man, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I tell you what, you've taken intros and outros to a new level. I don't even know you realize the level you've taken them to. You've taken them to that high a level.
Well, what we're doing right now is I've committed because
and you know what? And I'm worried.
Well, the podcast.
You know why?
Why is that?
Because I'm worried some record label is going to now hire you away from the Thrivetime show to go be like a rapper.
Well, what kind of...
I'm really worried about that.
I've noticed there's very few songs out there that can relate to the kind of people who get up at 5 a.m. every day, 4 a.m., whatever it is, and then they don't take breaks. You know, they're working 60, 70 hours a week. Yeah. They occasionally win awards, and they make far more money than everybody else, and all the employees who work for them hate them, and that's called an entrepreneur. And I figure there needs to be songs for entrepreneurs. There's got to be something. There's nothing.
Most of the songs are about guys that go to sleep at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Right.
Can't get to work, don't have a job, and yet they really, try to be cool.
Like there's songs like "I Can't Feel My Face" when I'm with when I'm with you.
He's a great dancer, by the way.
Which and again, one of our incredible guests today, Grant Gulliver. He just quoted the song. But if you break down the lyrics of these songs, the songs that we know that are stuck in our head, a lot of these songs just don't quite relate to entrepreneurs, And so, but Z, you did see The Weeknd live in concert. And before we get into today's topic, which is the mind becomes what the mind is fed.
The mind becomes.
And learning how to block out negativity, I'd like for you to dump on some negativity. How bad is The Weeknd as a dancer in person? Because in the videos, and they have many takes. They could do many takes. He is awful. How awful is he in person?
Well, you know what? In fairness, you told me he was awful.
Yeah.
And that arose my curiosity. And so I got on YouTube and I looked at him. I thought, oh, Lord, he is awful. And I thought, well, maybe they're doing it maybe on purpose. It's kind of like
part of his move.
It was kind of like the Seinfeld show, and who was the gal, and she was such a horrible dancer.
Elaine,
yes.
It's like Dick's Last Resort, where they mock you at the service is so bad.
Maybe it was one of those moves. And so I went and saw him here at the BOK Center here in Tulsa. Shout out to the BOK. They do a great job. They're one of the top 5 venues in the country in ticket sales.
They're also the world's largest roll of duct tape. It's unbelievable how big it is.
And I saw him, and I purposely was, he has a great voice and put on a great performance, but the dude is lacking in the dance move department. I mean, I don't know if it's purposeful or what. I'm like, dude, come
awful.
On.
Maybe in Canada they don't dance.
Sarah Jane's tap and toe. I mean, we got to get you something, and we can help you out here.
He's Canadian, I believe. The Weeknd, he's Canadian.
Well, that explains.
Maybe he's taking his dance lessons from
that explains a lot. I don't know one Canadian that's a great dancer, other than what your boy.
Well, we're talking. I do love Bieber. I am a believer. We're talking about the mind becomes what the mind is fed. Learning how to block out negativity. So I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Mr. Wes Carter, because you are an attorney. You're a guy who really, this is how tell me if I'm getting the legal system wrong. 2 guys get in an argument, and a jury gets together, and they argue over who spent more money on their attorney. And if they spend a lot of money on a great attorney like you, they win. Bad attorney, they lose. Am I getting the legal system wrong?
There may be a few inaccuracies there.
Okay,
you're in the ballpark, maybe.
Okay, so you deal with a lot of divorces, company breakups, a lot of partners disagreeing, squabbles, people being sued. How do you, before we get into today's outline, how do you block out negativity? You're a high-flying top attorney, Winter's King. You guys represent, Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes, Craig Rochelle, big-name people. How do you block out the hate?
Well, I think as an attorney, there's a lot of hate going around, not just towards attorneys, but you're dealing with conflict all day. So you have to bring positivity to the situation or everyone just gets mired down. Nothing gets accomplished. There's no compromise when everybody's yelling at each other.
So you'll say things like, I know you guys are getting divorced and you both hate each other. Your business is breaking apart. But can't we all go agree that we should all have a bagel together?
This is like an attorney's secret phrase is when you're trying to settle something, you explain to both parties that if you're both unhappy right now, this is probably a good settlement.
Oh.
That line at its core upsets most entrepreneurs. You know that, don't you? I mean, because it's kind of like, because we are all about, the win-win. And so when you come to that concept of, okay, the only win we have is when both parties are ticked off is a weird concept, right?
It is, but settlement's not a zero-sum game. And if you want to spend, like you said, a lot of money in litigation,
a lot of money,
roll the dice, and you want to either win or lose, you can do that and you can get it all. Or you can save $100,000, go do your business, and have a settlement, but both parties have to give something up, and that includes bringing some positive spin to it, which is you won't spend the next 18 months of your life in my office every day.
Now, I have the same question I'm going to ask to Grant Golliver with Messick Roofing in just a moment. He's a member of the Thrive Nation, a great roofer. But before I ask Grant the tough question, the same question here, Z, what do you do during your day on a practical level to block out the negativity? There's got to be an employee in one of your companies. There's got to be a lawsuit. There's got to be some upset customer. There's got to be a competitor that's upset. I mean, there's got to be somebody who's mad with you every hour.
Well, someplace they are. And what I've chosen to do more times than not, unless it's something that's urgent, that needs my attention, that needs fixing. Now, that's a different scenario than someone's just, ticked off at you, right?
Right.
This is going to sound weird, but I just ignore them.
Ignore them?
I put myself in a little bubble, a little cocoon.
Can I repeat it? So when someone writes something negative about you on Facebook, what you'll do is you'll print it out, read it, and then obsess on it.
No. And then get into an argument with them for 3 weeks
on. Oh, you go back and forth on Facebook.
Why blue is a better color than red? No, I will not do that.
I
just hit the ignore button. I don't care button. I don't listen to you button, and go on in life.
So somebody who you don't, have a close relationship with, or you don't value their feedback, sends you a hostile text message. How do you handle it, Zohan?
Delete.
You do?
Yeah.
So you as the great Zano, the man who loves Bono so much, he's changing his name to Zano, as the great Zano.
Which is pretty incredible if you think about it.
You would say you're just not going to respond?
Correct.
That's such a dirty, awesome move.
You just don't. Don't take the bait. Take the high road. If you always take the high road, you'll never take the wrong road. And so for me, I just always take the high road.
You're like the Magellan of roads.
I was with a buddy the other day. We were driving. We'd worked out. I went and did his TRX thing. We had worked out, and we were driving home. And
wait a second, after like a 5-hour workout, you drove home.
Yep, that wasn't quite 5 hours.
Okay,
that sounds better.
After the first 4
45
hours.
minutes. Sounds better than 45 minutes.
Okay,
Boy,
sure.
It kicked my hiney. That TRX is tough stuff. Yeah, tough stuff. So my point is, we're driving home, and on the way home, somebody thought he fouled them with his car driving.
Oh, so you cut him off.
Yeah, but
real quick, for full disclosure, that person was not me, but every time that I am in front of any car at all in the Hummer, I know that I have committed a party foul, and I apologize in advance, and I make no plans on changing my driving behavior, but I will soon have a driver because I just cannot do it well.
Good, because you are the world's certified worst driver.
Ever.
That's been certified.
Ever, yeah.
So we're driving home, and this car pulls up next to us, rolls down the window, and throws something, hits his car to get his attention.
Throws something at his car?
Yeah, a penny, or I don't know what it was.
A penny? Come on, a penny? A little ding.
A little ding off the car. So he rolls down his window, and this person starts to berate them on his driving style.
When you say a penny, I just make sure you're not exaggerating. It was a small thing he threw at the car. It wasn't like he pulled out like a BB gun.
No,
he pulled like a Glock.
Yes,
and just a slight ding with a Glock.
Something to get his attention.
Okay.
And basically was criticizing his driving style and was just giving him a hard time. Well, I mean, I was sitting there thinking to myself, what would I have done if I was in that driving seat? And I would have probably said something like this. Well, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Apologize. Have a great day and drive off, right?
Was that sound instead of a shotgun?
Yeah, no. More of an AK-47. Can I get my trunk and get something? I'll be right out. Just hold that thought.
Give me a second.
Hold that thought. No.
Hold this.
No, I would have just diffused it, but I mean, he just got enraged, and he was, enraged is maybe a strong term, but he yelled back and was reaching into
I swear!
He was reaching into his little coin thing to throw things. The third card, I grabbed his arm and said, "No, don't throw the money.
No, don't throw the money.
It's not worth throwing the money." And we pulled off, and the rest of the way home, he was just fussing about it. And
I have a question. Did the guy who threw the money at your car?
It was a lady, actually.
The lady? How is she able to see the road when her entire car is wrapped when your entire car is auto wrapped in a big Confederate flag? How can you possibly
That's a good point.
see the road?
I think it's one of those see-through flags.
Oh, nice.
But my point is that how many times a day do you let somebody else change you?
How many times a day do you let somebody else change you? Now, this ties into my tough question for Mr. Grant Gulliver with Messick Roofing. So, Grant, welcome to the show, my man. How are you?
Very well. Thanks for having me.
Hey, how long have you been a roofer?
Roofer for the last 14 years or so.
So what are the kinds of things that come into your day, or maybe once on a weekly basis, that could irritate you if you weren't careful?
There's clients that ask me to commit insurance fraud, things like that.
Clients that will try to commit insurance fraud?
Yes.
Whoa, that's
what's a good example of insurance fraud? What's a good scam, a common scam?
They will they want me to, they obviously made some damage that they want me to file as a claim, and it's obviously man-made, and I know that they did it, and it's just an embarrassing situation if the adjuster comes out, because the adjuster just naturally assumes that I did it, and the clients are always into just making a little bit extra buck if they can from their insurance company.
So they'll go out there and just start ripping off shingles?
Very close, yes.
What kind of stuff do they do? They get out like a shiv? Do they get out like a shovel?
Very close. I've seen people up there with golf balls and socks. I've seen all kinds of crazy things happen, and they do it right there in front of me. So we've been in business for 56 years, so the last thing I want to do is get a fraud report.
Nice. Okay, so how do you keep it from making your mind explode?
Like Dr. Z, I like to start every day off in the gym, and throughout the day, whenever I'm having some problems, I just like to step back and kind of meditate and focus on my breathing for a while.
Focus on you literally do like a...
Yeah,
like a Lamaze class, like you're pregnant or something. Like
absolutely,
one of those kind of things.
Not quite that intense, but I do find that it calms me down pretty well.
Yeah,
Lamaze class, nice.
Yeah.
See, are you still offering your doula services to Tulsa?
Oh, I stopped. I mean, only special people get that now. So.
Okay. Well, Thrive Nation, when we come back, we're going to break down the 6 moves that you can use to block out negativity during your day. Because if you're listening to the show and you don't have any negativity in your life, then screw you. No, I'm just kidding. If you don't have any negativity, you're probably living in a bubble somewhere, because everybody has some kind of negativity, and we're going to teach you how to deal with negativity. Again, that should be on a shirt. See, if you don't have any negativity in your life, screw you.
Yeah, we're going to give you the secret moves, because every now and then, your mindset, you're like, I'm not going to let negativity affect me today.
I will not let negativity affect me or my perm.
And next thing you know, you're throwing pennies at a car going down the street, and you're like, oh, how did that affect me? So when we come back, we're going to give you all the secret moves to keep from throwing pennies at other cars.
Stay tuned. It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio. Stay tuned. 12 the masses had to cut off a few, so on the daily you and I could rendezvous. A misshapen tree that I had to prune. I had to make cuts to be here daily at noon. So like a tidal wave of knowledge monsoon, I could rain on the parades of those who doubt in you. Are you the next Rockefeller or the next guru or the next Dr. King?
It's a Thrivetime Show on the radio. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. It's all about you, all about you, all about you, all about you, all about you. Yeah. So we bring the boom.
Yes, sir. It's Ian Clay, broadcaster from the box in the 918. Business school in the topic today. Check the syllabus, it's getting you paid. Making the business boom is what we do. You can do it that rush.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, the father of 5 incredible kids, and a man who will be obsessing about the upcoming, the soon-to-be victory of the New England Patriots over the Titans this Saturday. I begin smoking at 10 a.m. We're smoking the meat thanks to the good friends at Master Machine. Smoking the meat. At 6 o'clock, we will get together and begin talking about the game. At 7 o'clock, we will begin to watch the pre-kickoff. At 7:15, the kickoff begins, and the beatdown begins. And every time there is a point scored by the Patriots, my son will play American music. We will celebrate our patriotism, our Americanism, and America's true team. And for anybody who's inside the box that rocks, who believes the Dallas Cowboys are America's team, you are wrong. And I don't view it as a sign of lack of intelligence, although it makes me question. Dr. Z, as America's #1 Dallas Cowboy fan, how are you, sir?
Well, I just want to know. I mean, everybody's, it's lunchtime. They're tuned in the show. There could be a podcast, everyone in the world listening to it. How does that have anything to do with being a business coach?
One of the things about a business coach...
Because sometimes you rant about the Patriots instead of talking about being the world's best business coach. Now, that's something you really know a lot about.
See, that's a great segue. We're talking about how the mind becomes what the mind is fed, learning how to block out negativity. So I view that question.
So does that mean I subconsciously view the Patriots as negativity? Is that what I'm... Is that
I'm having a hard time hearing you. It's like your mic is cutting out. So we're going to move on. I can't hear the mic's cutting out. Someone check his mic there.
No, but real quickly, though, let's talk a little bit about the smoking.
Yeah,
so
smoking.
Are you going to actually smoke it?
No, I have no skill.
So you have a hired hand?
Yeah, one of our clients, Master Machine.
Okay.
These guys have a world-class smoker.
Okay.
It's like the Cadillac of smokers. I believe it's actually called the Cadillac.
Wow. Okay.
And they're going to pull this thing in at 10 a.m.
Okay.
And the smoking begins. And what you do is you begin talking about what kind of wood are you using? What kind of meat are we cooking?
Yeah.
How is it going?
Yeah.
Are we marinating?
Yeah.
How are the juices? And an 8-hour as a man, it's hard to sustain a conversation for more than about 5 minutes.
Yeah, but if you're talking about smoking meat.
From 10 a.m. until like 6, you could have a conversation that's totally rational about meat smoking.
Oh, yeah. Totally. I totally get it. I'm a dude.
Forced.
I totally
it feels
get that.
natural.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
kind of meat are you cooking there? Wow.
Yeah, what is
what
that?
kind of temperature are you? Or is that rotisserie?
How long are we smoking that, Tiger?
Now, they have this auto thing where whenever the temperature ever drops down below a certain amount, then the gas kicks on.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's unbelievable. So,
unbelievable. Wow.
Concept number 1, we're talking about the mind becomes what the mind is fed and learning how to block out negativity. Concept number 1, you want to be intentional about what you put into your head. Napoleon Hill, the best-selling author of Think and Grow Rich, wrote, "The mind comes finally to take on the nature of the influences which dominate it. Under the truth, and you will know why it is essential for you to encourage the positive emotions as dominating forces of your mind and discourage and eliminate negative emotions." He's talking about over time, whatever you put into your head begins to dominate your thoughts. So I'd love to get Wes Carter's take on this because people say, well, I listen to gangster rap every day and it doesn't affect me at all. And then you say, really? And you notice it affects their language, their actions, what they do, their normal. I see it all the time. All these killers, it's shocking, but all the killers, people who blow things up, these people who blow up high schools and commit acts of terrorism, these folks all have become desensitized to violence. They always find out, oh, shocking, these people are into like pulling the wings off of flies, that kind of thing. So can you break it down? How do you guard your mind from negative input? How do you do it? What do? Do you live in a bubble?
Not a bubble, but almost like Dr. Z said, ignoring the negative thoughts or pushing them out. No one can avoid all negative thoughts. You're going to have doubts. It's having a conscious effort to overcome those with a positive counter to that thought. So, for instance, in my world, the legal world, I've had attorneys that work for us that are always worried about how you're going to lose a case. So it's we can't win this. We can't do that.
We can't win this one.
We can't win this case.
That's impossible.
And what they end up doing is their mind's so focused on that, all they're thinking about is ways to lose. Where someone who's thinking about, we can do this, we just got to figure out a way we can do this, eventually that genius idea is going to come up and arise from that positivity. And it's because you're thinking about how can I win instead of all the ways you're going to get beat.
So such as someone might say, hey, we have a 6th-round quarterback leading our team. He's at 40. Things look good. We have what it takes. We could win. We could win this case. That's the kind of thing. Now,
we don't need Garoppolo. We'll get rid of him for nothing.
Yeah.
Are you guys talking about the Patriots? Because I was not talking about the Patriots. I was just throwing out a hypothetical.
I was about the Green Bay Packers back in the day. Brett Favre.
Right, yeah, Brett. And by the way, I did see Brett Favre, his record-setting game versus the Cardinals-Vikings. Incredible performance by Brett Favre. Now, Z, I want to ask you this. In terms of like the people in your life, the music in your ears, the audio you listen to, the visuals you see, how do you guard your mind and your heart from negativity? How do you do it?
Well, the stuff that's really, really bad is pretty easy. I mean, you just ignore it, you turn it off, you don't listen to it, you make a conscious choice not to listen to it, not to even go to it. I mean, that's easy.
So you no longer listen to the audio reading of the Jihad Manifesto before bed?
I stopped doing that.
Yeah, you cut out. It was impacting you negatively.
It gave me weird thoughts.
Okay.
Weird thoughts, you know. But what happens is the tough stuff, that's the easy stuff. The stuff that's like really, really good and the stuff that's really, really bad, those are kind of easy moves. It's kind of like employees that are really, really good and employees that are really, really bad.
It's so easy at that point.
It's so easy, yeah. You got an A player, an F player, a D player. I mean, those are the ones. It's that stuff in the middle. And what I found is that the people that have the hard time are the ones that say to themselves, the glass is half empty.
That's tough.
Instead of saying the glass is half full. So what I have done in my mind is I block out the really bad stuff. I mean, obviously, you just choose not to listen to it. You choose not to be around it. If a person's an idiot, you don't get the invite to the party next week.
No longer listen to the Jihad audio
the Jihad Manifesto.
No longer listen.
No longer.
Writing that down.
But it's amazing how many people can see or listen or watch or listen to the same thing that I do, and it's a negative to them, whereas it's a positive to me. And I think that's one of the things that as an entrepreneur, as an optimist, that you have to get your head wrapped around, and that is being a half glass full guy.
Now, if you want to surround yourself with positive people and positive thinking, positive entrepreneurs who share your vision of having success in this great American economy, I encourage you to take advantage of the offer we have going right now between now and February 1st.
What's the offer?
We're giving 2 free tickets to our upcoming Thrivetime Show conference. That's a $99 value per ticket, so a $200 total value, $198 total value, simply by going to iTunes and subscribing to the Thrivetime Show on iTunes and leaving us a review, an objective, fair and balanced review, and emailing it to us at info@thrive15.com. We're going to send you 2 free conference tickets. Now, when we come back, we're going to talk about how, as a business coach, we coach our clients to blocking out negativity. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio. Stay tuned. This moment is profound because you're above the ground. Your road might have been rough, but what you got now is now. We're here to pick you up and to even show you how. But you gotta be resourceful with that old plow. Started from the bottom, but I worked my way up. Cause by 4 a.m. I've always been prayed up. Rise and grind, now's your time, don't dare let up. You gotta get it done. Yes, sir, it's Z and Clay, broadcasting from the box in the 918. Business school in the topic today. Check the syllabus, it's getting you paid. Making the business boom is what we do. You can do it, let us show you. I'm a father of 5 with maniacal focus to teach the proven moves, no hocus pocus. Cause get rich quick is not a move, but the proven system will make your life improve. See, I'm more than just a rhymer, like a horse with blinders. Focused on the Thrivetime Show, that's where you find us. He be the Z and I be the C. Teaching business skills from Clay to Z. Oh, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio, and it is profound if you are above the ground. Z, break it down. Why is it so profound if you are, in fact, above the ground?
Well, one thing, before that, I need to get that hot intro because that's going to be your ringtone when you call me.
Really?
That's got to be your ringtone, right?
Well, break it down Jonathan
from Clay
Kelly,
to Z.
Jonathan Kelly is putting this right now. He's putting this on the Spotify. It's on iTunes, and we're John. The other day we hit number 5 on the iTunes business charts for just a moment in time.
Yeah, we were top 10.
Oh, top
5
10.
would be top 10.
Oh,
yeah.
And so we're moving up there, but John is the man. John is the man behind the scenes who makes it happen. And so Z, really, the question is, John, when are you going to put the song on Spotify? That's really the question, because I think it has to be on Spotify for him to put it on his phone. I think
it's actually going to be on today.
Oh,
nice!
Oh, in my face.
Hot sauce later on this afternoon. That's fantastic.
Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful.
Eating a little lunch. Those of you out there at the truck stop, you're eating your chicken salad sandwich. Know that by the end of the day, you will be able to get on and
Is that the only thing you can eat at a truck stop? Is a chicken salad sandwich? Is that how it works?
It's the preferred. It's the preferred.
Is that
item.
okay?
Can I
wanted to
tee
check
up
in,
number
check
one
in.
sold item at truck stops.
Before we get back into the
I Googled
topic about the mind becoming what the mind is fed, I want to make sure I tee up this because you said for those of you at the truck stop, I want to be real. For those of you who are currently taking a shower at a truck stop while waiting for your chicken
salad sandwich.
Right.
Yeah.
We salute you.
we
But don't salute us back because you need to put some clothes on.
Clay, I got to say something's killing me. But you talked about your party this Saturday. People bringing meat. You're smoking, all that. Was that an open invite for just anybody? Because it kind of sounded a little bit.
I think it was.
No. Here's the thing. This is how I get myself in trouble because my wife, she says, "Hey, can you just want to make sure I'm prepared? How many people are going to be there?" I said, "Well, just be Chup.
Boom.
I've invited John, and Marshall and
he's tall.
Z." And then she says, "Honey, you're looking at like 35 people." I said, "Well, the Matherans are coming. And if the Matherans are coming, that alone is like 36 people." And she goes, "Honey, they only have 5 kids. That's like 7 people." And I said, "But with their family and our family, that's 14.
It's just math.
And see, what happens is other people start to hear about it. And who am I to deny the people out there who subliminally want to become New England Patriots fans? How am I to deny?
The people that are listening to the show going, "I think he just invited me. I think he said we're going to have
No. And the wall is going up, and the wall will be tall, and so soon that won't even be an option. Now, again,
doesn't that kind of go against you and just like being around random people? Because I know that's kind of one of your ironic things about you is how great a DJ you are, and yet you really don't like being around strangers.
Well, let me tee it up. Okay, we're talking about the mind is fed, learning how to block out negativity. And so I'll explain to you why I don't like being around many people. Not all, not most, but I get to say I don't like being around most people, but not all. Okay, so concept number 1, you want to be intentional about what you put into your head. So we're going to go through all 7 of the things you can be intentional about.
Okay, why not? Let's do it.
So to become a more positive person. So people, I have discovered this, that Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes is a really good guy.
Oh, that's good to know.
So as a business coach,
there you go.
You're around somebody more and more, and the more and more you're around him, you notice, wow, this guy is a really good person.
He's a good person.
And so therefore, being around him more doesn't worry me. But John, you've seen me coach clients here for the past half decade.
True.
Have we not met some folks where you go, I don't know if I feel comfortable with them being in the building?
For sure. Yeah. It's like you can feel them walk in and then just the energy just drops. And you're just like.
So one of my favorite examples would be we helped a guy. He says, I want to help.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name.
He says, could you help me market my business? John and I say, sure. Then John comes into the meeting and says, here's the deal. It looks as though your Angie's List account is being blocked. Your house account's being blocked. Home Advisor's being blocked because apparently you have many, and I'm not saying they're true, but there's many complaints. Is that basically the scenario?
Yes. Fraud complaints.
And then he proceeds to tell us, well, one of the things is that one of my moves is when people pay up front, I don't necessarily have an obligation to complete the job. It just depends on, and so he explains to us his plan is to get payments up front and to not complete the job. And he wants to know how we can help him get a better rating because he hears you can buy them from people in India.
Oh, my goodness.
And that was his coaching he wanted. And I said, you got to leave.
That's not coaching. That's not being a business
scammery.
Coach. That's being a business scammer.
Right.
I mean, if you were in the business of being a business scammer, then that's good. But if you're in the business of being a business coach, then that's not, We
had another guy who wanted to be an author, and we said, hey, you need to finish the book. He says, I want to get 3,000 Amazon reviews first, though, and then I'll write the book. We're like, why? He said, because that's how it works. Amazon's all about reviews. And so sometimes people, the more you're around people a lot, if you're listening to the show and you're in a business where you're around a lot of people, you have to kind of guard your heart. So here's my rule for people. This is just my rule. I only like to surround myself with people that share my values, Not saying they're perfect, but they share my values. So if somebody's values are the antithesis of mine, I'm not going to get into a perpetual argument just because I'm related to them. It's not going to happen. So
why not? Why not? I mean, why can't you be around someone who doesn't share your values?
Okay, well, I'll give you an example. There was one member of my family. This is a hilarious story. They said to me, hey, you want to watch football? I said, yeah, let's watch football. So I'm watching football, and we were actually watching a Cowboys game. This is a Thanksgiving years ago.
Why wouldn't
we're at a Cowboys game?
Merc.
And this is what the guy says. He says, if I made $4 million a year, I would definitely hustle more. So the thought was, so this is my thought. I'm like, I didn't say it because I'm trying to be civil, but I'm thinking, you've never had a job, let alone have you ever been good enough at any job to be $4 million.
Yeah.
And these people have sacrificed for years with no guarantee that they're going to get paid anything. And then the people who are getting paid have a year-to-year contract. So no. And he says, I'm thinking about, going back and getting another major in history. And history teachers don't get paid what they're worth. And I'm thinking, yet again, if the world would gather around and pay history teachers $4 million, so again, it's an antagonistic conversation. And so I want to ask this question.
So time out.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said it was family.
Yes.
And you said you wouldn't want to be around them.
That's
but
true.
Thanksgiving comes, last time I checked, once a year.
Right.
Christmas comes, JK, check me if I'm wrong, but it comes once a year.
No, you're correct.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
And so you've got to be around them at least a little bit, right?
Well, in that particular case, we just had the talk, and I said, hey, here's the deal. Some things you've said about my wife and my family and my dad are no longer good, so you're out. So
you went there.
And I've done that with probably 60% of my family.
You went there, and then therefore you instead of buying 2 turkeys, now you're buying just a can of Spam.
Yeah. Therefore, the Clark Thanksgivings have fewer and fewer people year after year. But I'm happier.
Yeah, well then, isn't that what life's about?
Now, when we come back, I want to get your take on this about what kind of music you put into your mind to make yourself positive. And I want to get Grant Golliver's take on this with Messick Roofing. I want to hear what he's putting into his head on a daily basis to keep himself positive. My name is Clay Clark. I am a business coach, and my goal of today's show is to help you to have the best year possible by simply learning how to block out the negativity, block out the hate. It's the Thrivetime Show on your radio. Stay tuned. Started from the bottom, but I worked my way up. Cause by 4 a.m. I've always been prayed up. Rise and grind, now's your time, don't get let up. You gotta get it, don't quit it till your seeds grow up.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. Presenting the world's only business school without the BS. With optometrist and entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zellner and USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark. Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Yes, sir. It's Z and Clay, broadcasting from the box in the 918. Business school in the topic today. Check the syllabus, it's getting you paid. Making the business boom is what we do. You can do it, let us show you. I'm a father of 5 with maniacal focus to teach the proven moves, no hocus pocus. Cause get rich quick is not a move, but the proven system will make your life improve. See, I'm more than just a rhymer, like a horse with blinders. Focused on the Thrivetime Show, it's where you find us. He be the Z and I be the C. Teaching business skills from Clay to Z. We both grew up poor, but we're poor no more. The goal of this show is to help you score. I couldn't see the light until my son could see.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio. Now, the guys are going to be taking a break real quick here. I think they're getting themselves mentally prepared for tomorrow's tomorrow's pre, not that I was going to say Thanksgiving, but it's pre us expressing our thanks that the Lord has given us yet another Patriots victory. So we're having our tailgating, our smoking of the meat begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. And so I think the guys are strategizing here, making all the plans together about what kind of meat we should eat and when we should be meeting that eat. Meanwhile, I press on. I will press on. I'll be back after the break, but I press on. We're talking about the mind becomes what the mind is fed and learning how to block out negativity. And if you've ever been on the planet for, I don't know, a year or more, you've probably discovered that if you're not careful as an entrepreneur or as an employee, as a human, as a citizen of the earth, there's somebody out there who will try to steal your joy today if you're not careful. So you can just be minding your business and doing what you normally do and just having a great day. I know for me, as an entrepreneur, I have multiple companies. And as an example, elephant in the room, we could just be rocking along, having a great time. We could be selling a lot of memberships. We could be having a lot of new first-time customers coming in. We could be receiving a lot of positive praise from clients. We could be compliant with all of our local laws. We could be, having someone express interest in buying a franchise. Everything could be going good. And everything usually is going good. I would say 99, 98% of our day is good. But then an unsolicited email comes in. It happens about every 4 to 5 hours for Elephant in the Room. So with our current technology that exists today, you can send anybody a message, from anywhere all the time. You can send somebody an unwanted message, and they have to see it, right? Unless you block them. And so we'll have a woman who will want to get her hair cut at the Elephant in the Room. Now, the thing is, the Elephant in the Room is a men's only grooming lounge, which if you look at the root word, men's only grooming lounge. Wow, but that's 4 words. Okay, so if you look at all 4 root words, men's only grooming lounge, one could conclude that we are a men's only grooming lounge, which means we don't cut the hair of women. So thus, when a member of my team politely notifies the woman that I'm sorry, ma'am, but we only cut men's hair, we can't determine how they're going to respond to that. We're just letting them know that's the rules to the game. However, usually about once a day or every 2 days, there will be a woman who perceives herself. She believes that she's a man. So there's a woman out there who believes she's a man, or a man who believes she's a woman, or I don't know. And I can't. I'm not hating. I don't know how that works. I don't know. I've never broken that down with this person. But they'll come in. They say, I want to get my haircut. I consider I am the man in my relationship, or I do have a boy cut, or I have a man's haircut, or whatever the story is. And then the front desk person will politely let them know that, hey, we appreciate that, but we are still a men's only grooming lounge. So we can't cut your hair today, but we would recommend you get your hair cut, down the street or whatever. Well, at that point, I'd say about every other day we get a hostile email coming in saying, I can't believe you wouldn't cut my boy's hair, or I can't believe you wouldn't cut this woman's hair. I can't believe you wouldn't cut my hair. I'm a woman, signed sincerely disgruntled woman. I can't believe that you won't cut my hair. Signed sincerely upset woman. Or I don't understand why you guys won't cut my boy's hair. Signed upset man who he found out we won't cut his 7-year-old son's hair. That kind of thing. And so what happens is you have any kind of standard or rule or expectations or anything, you're going to upset somebody. A lot of news has been coming out recently how Donald Trump is going to make it possible for more offshore drilling to begin. Well, if you're in the oil and gas business and you live in Florida, a lot of people love that. If you're a big proponent of the ocean life, you're a pro-environment kind of person, you might be an environmentalist, you might be the kind of person who's really excited about the sea turtle population, you really think about the ecosystem, that could be upsetting to you. You could have heard about the news recently where Donald Trump cut taxes, and you could also hear how Nancy Pelosi believes that cutting taxes is a terrible thing for the average American. But no matter what you do, it's going to upset somebody. And so today we're talking about how you can be intentional about blocking out the negativity, because the mind becomes what the mind is fed. So concept number 1 I want to read to you from Napoleon Hill's self-help book, Think and Grow Rich. It says, the mind finally comes to take on the nature of the influences which dominate it. It says the mind finally comes to take on the nature of the influences which dominate it. So what does that mean? It means you need to put positive thoughts into your head. And so headed into the break, I recorded a song with Merton Huff from the Metropolitan Baptist Church, the praise and worship leader. And hopefully this song is a song that's positive for you on this fabulous Friday. So without any further ado, I unleash a positive song for your audio enjoyment. My name is Clay Clark. You listen to the Thrivetime show on your radio, and that is Merton Huff on the hooks. We come back after the break, more about how you can control the negativity, block out the negativity that's attempting to interrupt your joyous day.
12 the masses had to cut off a few. So on the daily, you and I could rendezvous. A misshapen tree that I had to prune. I had to make cuts to be here daily at noon. So like a tidal wave of knowledge monsoon, I could rain on the parades of those who doubt in you. Are you the next Rockefeller or the next guru? Or the next Dr. King who's changing the rules? Walls are in your way, will you run right through? Like a running back, forth the one, it's up to you. I remember my days back in the dorm room, tuned to the gloom like the temple of doom. Overwhelmed with the doubts that try to consume my hope for the future that I could pursue. But from the mountaintop now I can conclude that you have what it takes if you want the view too. This is your year to thrive. Everybody, success you will find. Today is your day. Everybody, now is your time. You can do it. This is your year to thrive. Come on, come on. Success you will find. Today is your day. Everybody, now is your time. This moment is profound cause you're above the ground. Your road might have been rough, but what you got now is now. We're here to pick you up and to even show you how. But you gotta be resourceful with that old plow. Started from the bottom, but I worked my way up. Cause by 4 a.m. I've always been prayed up. Rise and grind, now's your time, don't get let up. You gotta get it, don't quit it till your seeds grow up. We all have a wish and we all want to win, but we cannot begin without self-discipline. If you fall on your face, get yourself up again. Attach yourself to goals, not fail with the friends. When the storms get rough and they scatter and leave, you only be there with yourself and what you believe. We believe in you, but not as much as God does. If you're going through hell, he's got nothing but love. Apply what you learn, increase what you earn, and in due time you'll have money to burn. With this miracle, I look to shout down the doubters. Kill the weeds that be killing your dream flowers. Empower you to devour all the obstacles that make your sweet dreams sour. As for me, I used to stutter, but now I'm on the microphone smooth like butter. If I can do it, I know you can too, but you must stick to it like postage do. And while Merton's on the chorus, singing what he sings, I encourage you to dream big dreams.